Good morning, everyone. My name is Adinda Permata Annisa, and I would like to talk about the art of fashion deconstruction, Vivienne Westwood design philosophy. Let me begin with the questions. What if I told you that broken seams, torn edges, and mismatched pattern could be a fashion? Vivienne Westwood didn't just create clothes, she destroyed the rules. And in doing so, she redefined what fashion could be. For her, disorder wasn't a flaw, it was a statement. To put it into context, in today's world of fast fashion, where clothes are made quickly and discarded just as fast, Vivienne Westwood reminds us that fashion can be rebellious, meaningful, and deeply personal. According to the Business of Fashions, fast fashion brands release more than 15 micro-seasons per year, contributing to a culture of overconsumption. In contrast, Vivienne Westwood turned away from this and used fashion as a form of critique and creativity. After diving deeper into her work through interviews, archive from the Victoria and Albert Museum, and scholarly commentary from the Kyoto Costume Institute, I became fascinated by how she reimagined fashion as a space for activism and artistic rebellion. So, in today's page, we'll explore how Vivienne Westwood's unique use of fashion deconstruction became her signature. Here's what we'll cover. For number one is what fashion deconstruction actually means. And for number two is how Vivienne Westwood implemented it in her iconic collections. And for the last is how it reshaped global fashion design to this day. Let's start with the basics. What is fashion deconstruction? Fashion deconstruction is a design technique that breaks down traditional garment structures, often by showing seams, reversing lining, or intentionally creating asymmetry. According to the Kyoto Costume Institute, this approach subverts the functional and decorative norms of fashion, turning garments into questions rather than answers. In other words, it challenges the viewer to reconsider what clothing is meant to be. Now that we understand the concept, let's see how Vivienne Westwood brought it to life in her collections. She began using deconstruction technique in the 1980s. For instance, in her pirate collection, 1981, she layered oversized garment, mismatched pattern, and historical references, creating silhouettes that felt both chaotic and theoretical. Moving forward, a 2016 Victoria and Albert Museum retrospective noted that she altered traditional corset by exposing boning and using distressed fabrics. She often took 18th century fashion staples and ripped them apart to reflect punk rebellion and anti-establishment critique. In another striking example, her 1982 Nostalgia of Mud collection featured rag-like garments inspired by ancient tropes and post-apocalyptic features. The unfinished hems and earthy tones weren't accidental. They were part of her commentary on class, culture, and decay. So, what impact did she leave behind? Vivienne Westwood's deconstruction style influenced generation of avant-garde designers. According to the Days magazine, designers like Rei Kawakubo of Comme des Garçons and Martin Margaglia followed in her footsteps, using similar methods to create garments that divide norms. But importantly, her work helped establish a new genre in fashion, conceptual fashions, where clothes are used to make statements, not just to look beautiful. Even today, brands focus on sustainability and artistic integrity, continue to reference her radical techniques. To summarize everything we have discussed, Vivienne Westwood turned fashion into rebellion through deconstruction. She challenged the structure of clothes, broke aesthetic expectation, and inspired designers worldwide to embrace imperfection as beauty. As she once said, you have more interesting life if you wear impressive clothes. And clearly, she meant clothes that speak, provoke, and rebel. Vivienne Westwood wasn't just designing, she was deconstructing the very meaning of fashion. That's all from me today. Thank you very much and see you soon.